Hey guys, welcome back. Another story time with Mrs. Smith. Today we're going to be reading Our Star the Sun. The sun makes the world go round. Will the sun ever burn out? Does the sun go to bed at night? And more questions. You can see this is a nonfiction book. We have a table of contents. It also has tons of activities. So what I'll do is I will pause on the activity pages just in case you want to read through the instructions and then complete one of them at home. What is the sun? 4, 3, 2, 1, shouted Anne. Set engines to full power. Aye, aye, Captain, replied Carlos, her co-pilot. The spaceship Starlight roared into the sky. It raced upwards past the clouds and into space. Carlos turned off the engines as they left Earth behind. Where shall we go, Captain Anne? Carlos asked. Set a course for the sun, said Anne. The engines roared back to life as Anne spoke. In an instant, the Starlight was on its way. Mine's on. How far away is the sun? Do you think Anne and Carlos could go to the sun? Why or why not? Here's an activity, just in case you're curious. It says, why doesn't the sun look big from Earth? This activity can help you understand. Well, how big is the sun? So far, that's why we thought the sun was small, because we were so far away on Earth, said Carlos. That's right, but it only looks small, agreed Anne. It's really much bigger than Earth. I wonder how big the sun really is. The sun is a star, but it's not the biggest star. Some stars are much bigger and some are smaller. The sun is the closest star to Earth. Anne and Carlos could fly their rocket as fast as it could go for a whole year and still not reach the closest star, our sun. Stars are hot, glowing gases. That's why stars shine. Stars are so far away from Earth, they look like bright, tiny specks. We see light from the sun during the day. Why don't we see light from other stars then? Do this activity to find out why. Well, what else is there in space? Are those stars? Asked Anne. No, those are planets, replied Carlos. Earth is a planet, and planets move around the sun. That's called an orbit. How do you know about planets? Asked Anne. My sister Rosa told me about them, said Carlos. She goes to the university. Rosa wants to be an astronomer. Astronomers use giant telescopes to study the stars and planets. Saturn. When I grow up, I'm going to visit all the planets, said Anne. Maybe, said Carlos. Rosa says all we can do now is look at planets through telescopes and send spacecraft to take pictures of them. This is the spacecraft Magellan. It is a spacecraft that has been taking pictures of Venus. It sends these pictures to Earth. Scientists are learning more about Venus because of Magellan's pictures. Venus is a planet that has no water and is super hot. Why do we need the sun? The sun is really important to us, said Carlos. Just think about what Earth would be like without it. The sun gives Earth light and heat. Plants need light and heat to grow. Without the sun, there would be no life on Earth. Time for sun safety. Too much sun can cause a sunburn and harm skin. Sometimes people need to be in the sun for a long time. Scientists have found out how to make sunscreens. Sunscreens protect people's skin from the sun's rays. Hey, I'm hungry. Where did you put our lunch? Asked Anne. Well, I thought you brought it, exclaimed Carlos. Oh, it's time to go back to Earth, said Anne. Aye, aye, Captain, said Carlos. Does the sun move? Carlos gently set the starlight down in Anne's yard. Carlos and Anne jumped out of the starlight and found their picnic lunch. They sat in the shady spot to eat. After lunch, they played shadow tag. Shadow tag is fun, said Carlos. Look at the shadows I can make. Have you ever played shadow tag? What do you need in order to play? Maybe a shadow? How do you get a shadow? Well, what makes the shadow? Do this activity to find out what makes a shadow. We already did a shadow activity from Mystery Science. After playing shadow tag, Anne and Carlos went back to the spaceship. Look at that shadow, Anne said. It looks like a real spaceship. I don't remember seeing that when we landed. What made the shadow on the spaceship? And why can she see it now, but not later, not before? How does your shadow change? Is your morning shadow the same as your shadow at noon? Shadows change. The sun looks as if it moves around the sky, but it doesn't. When the sun is over our heads, the shadows are short, and when the sun is lower in the sky, the shadows are longer. Do this activity to find out what causes shadows to change. Earth moves. Earth spins around. It spins very slowly. Because Earth spins, shadows change. Try this activity to find out more about the spinning Earth. Light from the sun falls on half of Earth. It's daytime on that half. The other half of Earth is having night. When Earth spins, the half that is having night moves into the light. Half of Earth is always facing the sun. See how this side is darker than this one? The Earth is always turning. Earth turns around one time every hour. It takes 24 hours for Earth to make Earth turns around one time every day. It takes 24 hours for Earth to make one complete turn. So this is 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 8 o'clock p.m., most of us go to bed, 4 o'clock in the morning, hopefully we're still sleeping, and then noon again. So you can see, we can see North America here, and then right back at the same time, we can see North America again. What would happen to day and night if the Earth stopped spinning? Japan is on the other side of Earth. When you are in school, children in Japan are asleep. When you go to sleep, they are in school. Japan has nighttime when we have daytime. In Tokyo, children are asleep. In Los Angeles, children are starting the school day. And in New York City, children are eating lunch. Can you find out more about Japan? I'm glad we have the sun to give us light and keep us warm, said Carlos. The other stars are pretty, but the sun is the most important one for Earth. It's our star, Anne agreed. All right, and back here you can see we have a glossary and an index. All right. If you end up doing any of those fun activities, even with today's activity, which is stay comfy, and you end up playing with more shadows and you want to send pictures, I'd love to see them. See you guys soon.